Hello, welcome back. Hope you guys had a good weekend. We covered anatomy before the weekend and the fossil record. And now we're going to finish up types of evidence of evolution by seeing how DNA similarities between two organisms can show an evolutionary relationship. So, long story short, um, if, you, if you guys went through the protein synthesis unit, if you were in advanced, this will ring a bell. If not, here's the gist. Your DNA is translated into proteins that make you. And if you are made out of proteins, those proteins have little building blocks called amino acids. And one of the ways that scientists can tell evolutionary relationships between species is by seeing how many of those protein building blocks we have in common. So we have here one of those proteins that make up many forms of life, and that protein is called cytochrome C. And it's made out of 104 amino acids, which just means that it's made out of 104 building blocks, if you want to think of it that way. And what we are looking at in this chart is out of those 104, we have picked only the building blocks where there is going to be at least one difference between the human, the chicken, the horse, the tuna, the frog, the shark, the turtle, monkey, and rabbit. So they've picked 42 through 57, with the exception of 51 and 52, because we are going to be able to find a difference in some of these proteins. And so let's do an example. What you're looking for is the differences. So if we go to 42, and we're looking at the human, the chicken, the horse, and all the other ones underneath it, they all have a Q. And we're looking for any that are different from humans. So if they all have a Q, then we're okay. If we go to building block number 43, or amino acid 43, we look okay in this one. But then things start to get a little tricky in 44. If we look at the chicken, instead of having a P amino acid, it has an E. Whoops, I'm sorry, I meant to highlight that. Instead of having a P, it has an E, which means that the chicken is different in one spot. Horse is just like us because it has a P, but the tuna, like the chicken, has an E, and the turtle has an E. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick a different color to highlight anything that's not P, but also not E. So the frog has an A instead of a P, and the shark has a Q, and the rabbit has a V. And so then we're going to go to number 46. Humans have Y for 46, but everybody else has F except for the monkey. So that means that the chicken through the turtle are all different. Oh, let's do it again. So we're going to highlight all these guys because they are different. And then if we go to 47, everybody has an S. 49, everybody has a T. 50, we have some mix-ups. So we have A, but everybody else seems to have something different except for the monkey. So we're going to highlight all the D's. And then we're going to choose a different color for our E and do this. So what you're seeing is how there are differences between the chicken and the horse and the tuna, frog, shark, turtle, monkey, and rabbit from us. And the way we are doing that is by looking at the human kind of sequence of building blocks and comparing differences from the other organisms to us. We're able to tell how closely related we are. So what you are going to do in this exercise is basically you're just hunting for letters that are different from the human. And the human is in the kind of olive colored row right here in the two charts. So all you got to do is go through all the other organisms and find any differences from the human code that's highlighted in the olive row. And after that, you're going to count the differences. So how many spots did the horse have that were different than the human? So here's how we can figure this out. We're going to go with the rabbit. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and just do the horse. And if we go with the horse, we're going to count how many differences there are from the human. So there's one. There's two. And then we're going to speed up and find any other differences. 53 looks good because they're all K's. 54 looks good. 55 looks good. So it's 56 and 57. And then, oh, we have a difference in 58. So if we look at 58, we have a T there instead of the I. Same thing in 60, we have a K instead of a G in the human. And then we have an E instead of a D. We have a... Everything else is the same. So 104 is okay, 103 is all right, as well as all of the other amino acids before that. So now we just have to count the different spots. So we had 2 up here, and then we had 3 down here. So the horse has 5 differences than the human in this specific protein. So what you're going to do is you're going to find all the different spots where each animal is different from the human, and then you're going to record their numbers for the bottom chart right here. And then whichever organism has the least amount of differences is going to be most closely related to us. And in that vein, when we look at this tree down here called a cladogram, this cladogram is organizing all these different species in terms of how closely related they are to the human. The way this works is our common ancestor would be down here, and all these blanks up here, the farthest from the human is the one with the most differences in DNA from the human. So the most differences would be there, whereas the one right next to it would be the least amount of differences from the human. So you're going from the most number of differences according to your chart up here to the least amount of differences, and that organism that has the least amount of differences would be right next to the human. Everything else you should be able to figure out on your own, and you may collaborate with a partner if you need to. Do not move tables. Hope this works. If you have any questions, don't email me, but come prepared with any questions you might have on Tuesday when I get back.